Hello friends, today I am setting up my part 2 of my bullet journal. The bullet journals I use only fit about 6 months in them, which is pretty typical, so this is just my second half of the year bullet journal. There will not be really any themes for these spreads. I am focusing on using the gold washi tape that I've used for my Roaring 20s theme of my bullet journal for the first half of the year, and the gold pen that I used for that as well. But overall, the goal was just to make these spreads simple and easy to use so that I can use them for the entire year. First, I'm setting up my key. I probably don't need a key since I don't use too many symbols, but I use a circle for a task, a triangle for an event, a diamond for a holiday, and a star if it's a priority. And then I just fill in the circle when the task is completed, cross it out if the task is canceled, and use an arrow if the task is migrated to another day. On the right-hand side, I am just doing a little quote page. I chose the quote, "In the waves of change, we find our true direction." I feel like there's a lot of change happening in our world right now, and it is really helping people find their true direction and the true areas where they need to grow. And growth and change is my theme and my intention for the second half of the year. To do the word waves, I blended with the Tombow dual brush pen and a Crayola super tip, and then I used the Tombow dual brush pen just to go back over where those colors intersect to layer on a little extra color. The gold pen that I'll be using in some of these setups is just the American Crafts metallic marker in premium metallic. This spread is pretty common. It's made popular by Amanda Rach Lee, and it's a grid spacing spread. So the way it works is you count out how many spaces you have in your bullet journal, and you create a little cheat sheet where it splits the page in fourths, in half, and in thirds, so that when you need to do something like that for your bullet journal spreads, you can just refer back to this page rather than having to count out every time. On the right-hand side, I'm doing my year at a glance. Now obviously this is just the second half of the year, but I like to have just kind of a page where it has the calendars for the entire year there so that I can see what the dates look like, and especially when I am setting up the spreads for that specific month, it's nice to have that calendar there so I can flip back to it rather than having to look at my phone for the calendar. Adding a little bit of color and some drop shadows just to make it a little more exciting. As I said, these spreads are just meant to be simple, not too exciting. Next is my future log. So the difference between a year at a glance and a future log is that on the future log page, you can actually write down events that will be happening in the months in the future. I don't do any months in advance, I just do each month as it happens. So when I need to mark down something, for example, that is happening in October of this year, I go to this page and mark those dates down so that I have a spot to keep them before I make the spread. Now I'm just putting some washi tape across the top, and then cut off a little bit, but I am peeling it away from where I wrote future log. This is a new spread in my bullet journal. I haven't used it before, but it is a holidays and birthday spread. I found myself missing something like this in the first half of the year, so I decided to add it into the second half. As you can see, I ran out of room, so this is where I'll show you what I do to fix mistakes in my bullet journal. I have an extra bullet journal page from the back of the bullet journal, and I just cut out a little strip of paper and glue it on top, and then it covers up the mistake that I made. So now I'm just writing over top of it, making sure that it all fits this time. And that is the easiest way that I fix problems in my bullet journal. This is just a candle lid that I use to trace a circle, and the way that this spread works is it is split into the last 6 months of the year, and for each little section of this pie that I drew, I'll draw a little arrow coming from it, and then I can list the birthdays or holidays that are in that month. Next up is my wish list spread. I have one of these in the first half of the year, and I filled it up pretty quickly. It helps me keep track of the little things that I still need to get, especially with my first year as a counselor coming up. I definitely have some stuff that I'll need to be buying for that, so it's nice to have a spot to put it on. On the right-hand side, I am using my Tombow Fudenosuke pen to write out weight loss tracker. I used this exact tracker in the first half of the year, and I'm excited to continue it over into the second half. In the middle, I have 1 through 5, which is for each week. I weigh myself on Sundays, and then these diamonds on the side, I fill in with the current weight that I am at the top, and then I go down by a pound for each diamond, and then I fill it in with my gold pen whenever I reach that weight. It's just a fun way to track it, and it inspires me to keep coming back to this. Next up are my health trackers. These are a couple of things that I track for my gut health and for my migraines that I get every once in a while. I usually only get a migraine a couple times a month, but it's important, especially when you are going to the doctor to talk about it, that you know exactly what those dates are, how often, what the details are when you had the migraine, such as what you ate and how you felt otherwise. So that's what these spreads are for. They're very simple. And I have the 6 months listed on the side, and I will just put a dot by the number if I have a headache or gut problems on that day. My next 2 spreads are very simple, and these are my travel planner, which is just going to be a big box. This is where I can plan any travels I have for the rest of the year. And then the right-hand side is my to-watch spread, and this is where I'll put anything on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus that I really want to watch. And finally, here is my flip through. As I said, this was a really simple setup, and I hope it inspired you guys to try some new stuff in your bullet journal. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.